Hello everyone, welcome once again to the stream. I probably have to make the bang theme a little bit quieter. Let's end it anyway. Jeez. Alright. The distant noises of, oh god, wait, hold on a second. Okay, that's actually a fine opening. This is a good opening. This is not a spoiler opening, we're fine. You gotta watch out, there's one that's just a hand grenade. Let me just make sure we're getting the full gameplay display. Just a second.
Gotta make sure you don't have that military dyslexia.
Fun fact.
I don't know what that means.
I don't. Oh wow. Yeah, I actually don't get the one either.
At any rate,
Fun fact, audience.
Because I usually get cons references. I didn't get that one.
Joshy, go!
Fun fact, audience. Did you know I synced this song to the Bionicle and Nika from their show the other night? I will not show it, but I thought it was funny. And also, that meme is now dead.
Meme is dead before it was ever seen by more than 3 people.
Did it mesh well?
Surprisingly, yeah. Not bad.
but yeah, we are back with episode 6.
Oh my god, Discord, fuck you.
I see.
It decided to silence me. As I was going to answer, as that night played, as we found out that night, a lot of songs for no fucking reason match up to that commercial. Really, you had to be there. It was a magical night.
Magical night when you guys were fucking like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 a.m. talking about random stuff like Bionicles and what's your favorite gotcha game?
No.
The answer. Wait, what? Did you make
hold
that
on,
up on your own, or is this actually a thing that happened?
It actually happened a couple times.
Well, I mean, like,
Oh. What the fuck? Oh, shit. Oh, god. Hold on a second. Whoa, technical foible. Minor technical foible will be resolved.
You have
There
to
we
get
go.
that venti,
Audio back.
Oh my
like,
God, there's
clear,
so many people
whatever.
talking.
I don't know.
All right, okay, everybody, one at a
Everyone's
time.
talking.
Come on, hold on. All right, okay. Anyways, let's see. We're missing Noir, but I think he's like he's imminent, like seconds away from us.
Like I'm tired right now, so it's like the talking over each other gets extra to my head. The bitchiers get bitchier.
No more than
yeah.
no more than 2 people talking at a time, please. But anyway,
I'm gonna mute myself real quick.
okay.
No more than 2, huh?
Well, anyways,
we need AC.
Oh yeah, we did.
Leviathan has
he
has
is
a big
like the
character
second
arc now.
line in this.
That's true.
But, anyways, today's sponsors. Woo! This Umineko Nonaku Koroni episode is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. First they're sour, then they're gone.
I thought they were sweet afterwards.
You got Crimson.
No, they're just sour. They are only sour exclusively, especially in this
That's the
context.
joke.
Ew.
Oh damn! We almost didn't have audio for the game. Fortunately, I've
Oh,
remedied
damn.
this, so you will hear in the background for a while. Anyways, okay, cool. Avery's here. AC's here. Lovely. Alrighty then. Let's jam.
I wish.
Back then, I was, and I guess I still am, a bit of a klutz. I always forgot where I'd put things or think I locked something up when I'd actually forgotten. I caused a lot of trouble.
I remember how Aunt Natsu used to get mad at you all the time.
But eventually, Shannon managed to overcome all that forgetfulness.
Oh, how'd you do that?
It wasn't anything big, but I got into the habit of writing things down. I'd write down wherever I put something important. For things that happened often, I made a checklist and always made sure to check it.
So, did you see Beatrice or didn't you?
Oh, I didn't see her directly. But, well, some very strange things did happen.
She was telling about a certain summer night. Shannon had been doing the nightly rounds. From her perspective, it was a ghost story. From the witch's perspective, it was just the story of a little summer's night's prank.
Little sister, do you understand the anti-magic toxins that humans possess?
God?
Sorry. No. What is it, Onesama?
Well, the time of witches has long since passed. Those vile humans who claim to rule over everything came to deny our existence and possess a powerful toxin.
Is that toxin harmful to us?
It's extremely dangerous. If we were exposed to it, our forms would probably evaporate in an instant. However, one thing we do have in our favor is the fact that our existence is still extremely weak. Because of that, the toxin does not affect us greatly. At worst, it can only transform us into mist for a time.
However, we'd rather avoid it if we can, right?
Correct. Yes, I see that you are indeed me. You catch on quickly.
The older sister appeared to be haughty at first. But, perhaps because she was so happy to have met her double and little sister, she was more than willing to teach her anything she wanted to know. The first thing she taught was that they were witches, a different type of being than humans. Beata would have thought her inability to use magic meant that she wasn't a witch. But apparently, she was still a witch nonetheless. The witches, like her, were bound by various limitations, unlike humans. The greatest of those restrictions was the anti-magic toxin possessed by humans.
So, in other words, we mustn't enter a human's field of vision.
Correct. You can think of it as though human eyes radiate the toxin. If they see you, it's the same as your body being burnt. And though the effect is weaker, being hurt or sensed can also result in contact with the toxin.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it's Kevin.
Sorry, it's just my chair.
So, even just getting close to humans is dangerous to us. Wasn't Father a human? Why am I not burnt by Father's toxin?
If we stock up magical power and have it acknowledged by humans, that toxin can be reduced drastically. In other words, by having our existence acknowledged by humans, we can make them lose their toxin, making it possible for us to appear before them once more.
I see. Simply put, as we are now, we can only exist when humans aren't around.
We are still very lacking in magical power, which makes us inferior to even a stray cat hiding from humans in the shadows.
The main goal of the older sister was to gain a large supply of magical power, and to be revived as a great witch strong enough to have no fear of the anti-magic toxin. For that purpose, she had wandered around the mansion night after night, striving to regain her magical power and reduce the anti-magic power of the humans. The powerful previous Beatrice, whom she had read about in Featherin's library, had appeared openly in front of humans and had even toyed with them at will. According to her big sister, such a level of power was most impressive.
To think that a witch could appear openly before humans and use magic at will. A witch like that would be so great that even I can hardly imagine it. Is that what we'll eventually become?
Yes. She was like a witch from a picture book, appearing openly before the humans of the mansion and summoning magic and underlings at will.
How inspiring. If that's our future, it means that all of our hard work will have been worth the effort.
That's right. Anyway, Onisama. How is that goal connected to going around unlocking windows like this?
It was the middle of the night. They were following behind servants who were checking the locks on the doors and windows, and undoing those locks after the servants thought they had been set. It felt more like a child's prank than the work of a witch.
This is the path that leads to becoming a great witch. All journeys begin with a single step. To those who cannot understand, that first step may look quite foolish from time to time. However, it is still a momentous first step.
With pride, as though making the first step from mankind on the surface of the moon, the oldest sister undid the lock on a window with a click.
Do you not understand, little sister? Can you not see why a little thing like this is so momentous?
No, Onisama. I don't really understand.
The older sister closed her eyes lightly, smiled, and opened the unlocked window a crack. Cool outside air flowed in, making the curtains flutter.
Let us put it in the toxin-filled words of a human. We're not supposed to exist on this island. I shall go further. Right now, there's no one in this corridor. And yet, the lock has been undone and the window has opened. Can you see how great a miracle, a work of magic, a proof of our existence that is? Even you should understand the coolness of this breeze.
I do understand. It's nice and cool.
The coolness, the softness of the breeze, and the feel of the fluttering curtain touching your hair. All of these things show that we truly are here.
So, by unlocking the window like this, we can leave behind proof that we really did exist.
And that's why I unlocked it.
Of course, it wasn't just small pranks like opening a window. You could also smash windows and vases or leave behind strange fires and mysterious scribbles. In fact, one time she actually did play a large-scale prank in the kitchen, piling up kitchenware in an eerie manner and leaving behind a bizarre scribble, which scared the servants considerably. It was a complete success. She'd really managed to scare the servants and had succeeded in making them acknowledge the existence of magic, weakening the anti-magic toxin. However, she usually chose to make her presence known by unlocking windows. The act of unlocking symbolized her release from the limitations imposed by the human's toxin.
One day, we will become a single witch and rule all over Rokenjima. When that time comes, we'll gain complete freedom and we'll be capable of stretching our wings as we please. We won't have to be afraid of anyone's gaze anymore. We'll be able to fly wherever we wish and disappear whenever we want. Laugh however we like, prank however we like, talk with anyone we want to. Humans might ask things of us from time to time. They might fight with us or play with us too. What wonderful things for us frail creatures who cannot appear before anyone to look forward to. Right now, they're little more than pranks. However, as they pile up, proof that we exist will begin to gather. The servants already call me the witch, Beatrice, Master of the Night, and are beginning to believe in me bit by bit.
The more they believe, the more those humans will lose their anti-magic toxin. I see. So, this means that Father has no anti-magic toxin. And that's because he truly believes in the existence of the witch I am, without any doubts. I finally realized that, though I thought him to be cold, Father does possess a kindness that can't be seen. I'd like to become a great witch and appear in front of everyone soon.
Indeed. Eventually, we'll be able to appear openly in front of anyone. By doing that repeatedly, we shall make people believe in us even more, and eventually we shall display even our magic for all to see. At that time, we shall descend upon Rokenjima as the great witch you told me of. The logic of the witch side is quite interesting. It keeps me entertained.
It does sound credible, in a way. When humans are frightened to hear that they've entered a ghost hotspot, they're likely to start yelling "Ghost, ghost" at the drop of a hat.
That's right. At a fundamental level, all phenomena are neutral, indifferent, and dull. If you want them to be viewed in a certain way, you must first create a suitable environment.
If a person has charisma, people will interpret what they do in a positive way, even when they screw up. I see. I guess in that sense the Beato's small efforts aren't misguided.
If it was just the mansion's locks being undone, everything could be resolved by saying that someone forgot to lock up, or that it was some kind of prank. However, the rumors of a witch wandering about the mansion night after night slowly began to take shape as the existence of the witch.
An environment was established so that, if anything strange happened in the mansion at night, it would all be viewed as the work of the witch. I get it, if you follow that reasoning to an extreme. then what you get is no different from a witch existing in the mansion at night.
After the Beaters finished their mischief of unlocking and opening the window, they enjoyed the coolness of the wind and the brightness of the moon, and became gold butterflies and disappeared into the darkness. There was no way of knowing whether the window they had opened had actually been opened by them. The servants might have forgotten to lock up, or one of the family might have opened it after the servants had locked up and forgotten to shut it again. Or maybe someone had played a prank. In the same way that none of those possibilities could be denied, it's also possible to deny the possibility that a witch really had opened a window to enjoy the night breeze.
A result without an observer. Let me try that again. A result without an observer can possess an endless number of ways in which it might have occurred. Humans who can't grasp anything more than a single possibility are unable to imagine anything.
However, people who believe in the possibility of a witch can't imagine that it was a witch's prank. When that happens, the scene of Beatrice's pranks that we've just seen is etched into the fragments as a fact.
That's one of the foundations of magic. Embellishing the process. With just a little magic, even a mass-produced stuffed animal can be reborn as a wonderful, unique stuffed animal filled with a mother's love. If you doubt it, it'll be burned by the anti-magic toxin. If you believe it, that magic will become the truth. Not all magic is bad. Ryo Nechan was right. Good magic exists too.
It may be necessary for a child of men to possess the power to repel evil magic. However, refusing to burn away and defile love-filled magic is part of how love in the human world works.
Well, good magic is the only kind I can forgive. For all other kinds, the best remedy is to deny them and burn them away.
A typical answer for a child of man.
Getting back to the point, knowing this much, I guess this means that the ghost Beatrice, who is called the ruler of Akenshima's night, doesn't really exist. It's nothing more than a general term for any inexplicable occurrences that take place in the mansion after dark. In other words, Beatrice isn't the name of a person, it's the name of a phenomenon. If anything bizarre happens, it all becomes the work of the Golden Witch. That environment in which a witch could exist is what Beatrice is. That keeps building on itself until we reach 1986. This is the veil that the true culprit is hiding behind. And the person hiding behind it is, without a doubt, a human.
Perhaps that holds true at this point in the witch's tale of the past. However, I doubt you can use that argument alone to fight all the way through 1986, don't you?
Ridiculous. Wasn't that obviously because someone forgot to lock up?
Well, you may say that, but but this isn't just something that happened once or twice.
In other words, you're a klutz, a fool, and a moron of a servant who forgot to check not just once or twice, but many times over.
Shannon isn't the only one. That same window has always been open, even when other servants did the rounds.
Yeah, Mom even asked me if I'd ever left a window open in the hall at night. I had absolutely nothing to do with it, but she still got pissed. Sheesh.
I'm sure Beatrice wanted to gaze at the moon. Ugh!
It is a bit creepy to have that happen over and over at the same window. And that time when the kitchenware was piled up in the kitchen, with a creepy magic circle scribbled there, sounds even more freaky.
Yes. They said it was an eerie magic circle drawn with something like blood. Ever since then, people have been scared to patrol the kitchen.
About the case of the eerie magic circle in the kitchen. Who witnessed that?
Well, it wasn't me. I think I heard about it from a servant kid who quit. I wasn't on duty that day.
So it's basically like this. Just like those exaggerated stories you hear about haunted locations all over the world, you servants like to have a little fun telling ghost stories about the nighttime mansion, right? You talk as though the witch exists and infect others with that belief.
So, all the eerie things that are supposedly done by Beatrice are baseless rumors. They're the result of coincidences and accidents or something that someone fabricated for fun. Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly. Of course there's no way Beatrice exists.
Beatrice exists. Huh.
I'm glad you understand so well, Battler-san. There's probably some person by that name, or else multiple persons of a fixed or unfixed number who do things and attribute it to that name. However, this delusion of the Golden Witch Beatrice that we're all thinking of is completely impossible.
Beatrice exists. I met her.
Oh, could you tell me about that in detail? You met Beatrice? And did she show you magic or something?
I see her all the time. Every time I come to Rakenzima. And she always shows me fun magic.
Denying the existence of the witch would always have the immediate effect of infuriating Maria. However, Erica, who did know the trick to avoiding Maria's fury, plunged into it head-on. But no matter how Maria tried to sell the idea of Beatrice's existence, she stood no chance of defeating the ruthlessly intelligent Erica in an argument. Jordan and Jessica hurriedly tried to calm Maria down, but there could be no quelling her anger at this point.
Good. So she showed you magic? Could you explain in detail what kind of magic?
She would always use her magic to give me candy as a present. Beato can create magic and candy with magic.
Are you sure she didn't just take it out of her pocket?
No, she didn't! It was magic! It was incredible! Tons of candies poured out of an empty cup!
Wow, that's some awesome magic.
Oh, fuck, that's right. That's right. That really would be magic.
Yeah, it was magic! It really was empty! I checked inside myself!
Huh? What do you mean you checked inside it?
Give it a rest, Erica-san. You're digging her grave. She's just a kid.
Come to think of it, Erica-sama. Would you like some work?
No, thank you! I'm having a seriously intellectual discussion over here. You outsiders can stay out of this. But tell me in more detail, Maria-san. What do you mean when you say that you checked inside it? Fortunately, we have it right here with us, a cup of tea that's just been overturned and emptied. Come on, be my guest and reenact what happened then, okay? Let me see it, if you would. Let's see it!
After holding the cup of black tea, which he had just overturned and was still dripping, upside down onto the table, Erica slammed it down hard and slid it over to Maria. Erica's eyes glowed repulsively, like those of a snake about to snap up a frog. Those eyes were ice cold and had a madness in them that made one want to avert their gaze. On the other hand, Maria was glaring furiously, her whole body shaking uncontrollably, in the greatest expression of anger that a human can manage. The look on her face was frighteningly not at all what you'd expect from a 9-year-old girl.
Stop it, both of you.
Okay. Beatrice took the empty cup. And then she did this. She put it upside down on the table.
Yeah, and then what? Did you lift it up right away and candies flowed out? Incredible! That really would be magic, right? It would be!
Ballard and the others tried to get between the two and calm them down, but it was no use. They finally pushed aside the others, and, glaring at each other from so close their foreheads banged together, they repeatedly slammed the upside-down cup on the table. Now their foreheads banging together and the cup being slapped down shattered the barrier between reality and illusion.
It is magic! It is magic! Beato used magic to make candies appear!
Then why don't you reproduce it for us? Founder of Mirage Sorcière, Maria, the Witch of Origins!
Lady Erica, this opponent is not worth your time. This battle is not worth fighting.
Shut up, murder doll! Okay, how can you claim that the overturned cup was filled with candies?
Just turning the cup over won't make the candies come out. Because you have to use magic. Beato can use magic because she's a witch.
Oh yes, magic. She used magic. How did she use magic? Did she swing a magic wand and tap the cup to make candies pour out? No, that can't be it, right?
Beato is a witch, so she uses magic. Magic happens when you say an incantation and cause a miracle. So you can't use the magic that makes candy unless you say the incantation.
Oh, sure. Understood. Good. Very good. Let's see this incantation. Let's see this magic. Come on. What kind of incantation would a witch use? What kind?
Come, try and picture it. The inside of the cup is filled with candies. Try and picture such a wonder.
And then what?
Look, the inside of the cup is filled with candy.
Maria grasped the overturned cup so tightly that it nearly cracked, and slowly lifted it up. Then, from the inside, several cute candies poured out. Maria looked at Erica with a full smile, as if to say, that showed you.
Good. And this is what you like to call Beatrice's magic, is it? Did I know? Beat her to death!
As you wish.
I won't let anyone deny Beato's magic. Because magic is magic.
Magic is impossible. You might be telling a lie about something that never happened.
Repetition demanded. Failure to respond will be in violation of Nox's 7th.
I'll respond! This is the truth! This is the story of something that really happened!
This wouldn't have anything to do with the trick of it in the actual cup or table, making this just a sleight of hand, right? That'd be against the rules, wouldn't it?
Hidden devices and tricks are in violation of Nox's 3rd. However, if and only if foreshadowing has been presented, these are permitted by Nox's 8th.
Nox's 3rd prohibits hidden doors or devices that have no clues pointing toward them. However, by presenting foreshadowing and clues that point toward the existence of said devices, Nox's 8th allows them to be used.
There were no tricks like that! It was just an ordinary table and an ordinary cup! So it was magic, not sleight of hand!
Understood. By Nox's 9th, we acknowledge that Lady Maria witnessed magic.
That's right, with the 9th at least! Observers are always allowed to speak their personal opinions. Otherwise, mysteries where the culprit is seen dressed up as a woman and it's written, "I saw a woman," would all be disqualified. Sure, that's fine. Claim that you saw magic all you want. All truth and nothing more than claims. They'll make a different claim and see straight through yours to the truth. That's the detective's duty, and where we shine the most.
There is nothing to see through. This is magic!
Since it is magic, only witches can use it, right?
That's right. Only witches can use it.
So if a human like me could use it too, that would mean it's magic, right?
You can't use it! Only Beato can use magic!
Then why don't I show you? I'll make candy appear from this empty cup.
If you think you can, just try! Impossible! Impossible! Useless! Useless! There's no way a human can do it!
Then please just relax and watch. Here we have an empty cup. Is that okay? It is, isn't it? Then we can turn it over on the table like this.
Let it be known that this fight has no purpose.
Okay, can you say that incantation for creating candies? In fact, why don't we say it together? Come, try and picture it.
The inside of the cup is filled with candy. Try and picture such a wonder.
Stop! Maria-san, why did you close your eyes when you said the incantation? Why not witness the miracle of magic?
Humans are polluted by the anti-magic toxin. If a lowly human saw it, the miracle of magic would be wiped out of existence. That's why the rules say that lowly humans have to close their eyes when they are using magic.
I see. Okay, I understand this protocol for humans to follow when magic is being used. In other words, not once have you ever witnessed the moment that magic happened. Isn't that right? Look, it's done now. Please try and lift up the cup, okay? After all, I've used magic to make candies appear.
There is no way someone who makes fun of witches could use candy magic.
Then if it actually does work, it'd be pretty amazing, huh?
After glaring at Erica with the utmost of malice, Maria slowly stretched out her hand toward the overturned cup. There was no way that Erica, someone who had made fun of witches like this, could ever use magic. There was no way that there would be candy there.
So how'd it look inside?
And there lay a single candy with a cute wrapper.
See? This is magic, right?
Erica smiled gently. A look of disbelieving shock rose to Maria's eyes.
along with envy for this person who could use the same magic as Beato. Erica. Oh, that's you. Fuck. Oopsies.
Erica, you can use magic too?
See? It's magic, isn't it? What I did there.
Yeah.
So in other words... Erica smiled pleasantly. She and Maria had finally reached a deep understanding. Of course it didn't! When you had your eyes closed, you just lifted the cup up and tossed the candy in. You call that magic? It's just a third-rate trick! So there's my blue truth as a detective. Now as the Witch of Truth, here's my red truth! Your so-called candy magic is nothing more than a sleight of hand. Just a sleight of hand that the fake witch is calling herself Beatrice or whatever claimed was magic. I mean, seriously, did you really get fooled with such a stupid parlor trick? Any magic played by your perspective can't be trusted at all. Everything you ever thought was magic was just a trick that you didn't get. There was no way that was magic. There's no way magic exists. Huh? It might have been sleight of hand when you put candy in this cup. That doesn't prove that Beato's magic was also sleight of hand. Or do you? However, you also can't prove that only magic could have done it. You rotten stuffed animal!
Please allow me to speak.
Know that this is a meaningless battle.
You goddamn scraps of paper! Hit the button at the good part.
That is enough. Lady Maria has been shown that the candy cup magic could possibly be a trick that she misunderstood to be magic. Therefore, her claim that it was magic is dismissed.
However, it might really have been magic when Maria saw it. Just because it can be done by sleight of hand doesn't disprove magic.
Well done, Lady Erica. Congratulations on crushing Lady Maria's illusion of the witch.
An illusion of the witch occurs when someone tries to force the acknowledgement of magic by claiming that a thing would be impossible without it. It's how witches launch an attack. If someone's able to successfully argue back and show that it would be impossible without magic, the illusion of the witch is defeated, and the witch must retreat. The magic Maria claimed to have seen could have been a trick, so it was unqualified to be acknowledged as magic. However, that was only the result of this battle. It was still too early to bring the fight into the domain of denying Beatrice, the witch, and the magic that Maria believed in. However, battles always end instantly when your opponent surrenders. Erica had wanted to hit Maria with everything at once, defiling the witch and the magic that she believed in, and crushing it without a fragment of compassion. Just one more step and I'd have been able to take a heart, as innocent as the smooth sand just after a wave had pulled back, and tear it to bits. What a shame. This isn't any fun anymore. Are you satisfied now? Ouch! Erica grumpily punched Eleanor's arm that had been restraining her. However, that cold, hard, marble-like arm just made Erica's hand hurt. Diplomatic immunity! This battle is over!
Allow me to speak. Diplomatic immunity accepted.
Know that this fight is childish.
Did you see something?
She did not. Let us withdraw. Lady Maria is no enemy of yours, Lady Erica. There is no need to pay any attention to small fry such as this.
You're right. How childish of me, tearing a kid's dreams apart. I'm really sorry, okay? I apologize for my momentary lack of elegance. Let's go.
Erica and the others turned their backs on Maria, who was still crouching down limply. However, as detectives in famous mysteries have always done in the past, Erica clapped her hands, stopped, and turned around.
Oh, that's right. What do you think? Simply by the existence of this overturned cup, this level of reasoning was possible for Furuto Erica. What do you think, everyone?
Erica's merciless words gouged themselves into Maria's heart once more. Erica laughed, leaving an evil laugh behind her. After bowing to Maria and Sakutaro, Eleanor left too. Gertrude and Cornelia followed suit. After that, only Maria and Sakutaro were left in the lonely Golden Land.
Are you?
Beato is a witch.
Are you? Beato is a witch.
It was magic. It was magic.
It was magic. Beato used magic to give you candy. You don't need to doubt that. Please believe in Beato. You know that magic can't bear fruit unless you believe.
Surrounded by an ice-cold drizzle that had started falling at some point, Maria cried quietly. Trying to really protect her from the rain, Sakutaro used his large sleeves to cover Maria's head, and stayed there by her side.
Okay, let's go, Maria. Let's play cards together in the room upstairs.
Erica-san. As an adult, I can't say I was very impressed by that conversation just now.
My apologies. I'm still just a kid after all.
After seeing that wonderful candy magic brutally insulted by Erica, Maria had been crying non-stop. I started noticing it as soon as the after-dinner quiz party. Your personality really is screwed up. You think this is fun? You like tearing a little kid's dreams apart?
Please stop, Butler-sama. Please, for my sake, don't push any farther. Please.
Shannon, who had been looking flustered, bowed her head deeply and implored Battler to stop. George, who didn't want Shannon pressured, fell in line.
Let's go. Let's spend this year in the cousin room again. We can watch TV and play cards.
I've heard that Erica-san has her own room. Shannon, please guide her there.
Oh, no need to bother yet. I'll relax down here for a little while longer. I want to savor it a bit.
What the hell are you trying to savor? Valor and the others could no longer hide their irritation. They had no obligation to entertain their uninvited guest any further than this. Erica herself understood perfectly, well, that no peace would welcome a detective. Valor and the others wanted to leave, but Erica wanted to stay. Neither had any desire to stop the other. Jessica urged Maria, who was still crying, to come along. Then Maria stopped and spun around.
Got a problem?
They do exist here and there. Humans who are practically lumps of the toxin and don't believe in magic. There are lots of boys like you in my class. They don't believe in witches, or magic, or miracles, or happiness. You can't become a witch if you let the toxin of people like that burn you to ashes. I may not look it, but I'm Beatrice's disciple. I'm the apprentice witch of origins.
Maria, who had been crying quietly a second ago, seemed to have been transformed into an entirely different person. She laughed, cackled, eerily. Tyler's group stiffened up at the sudden change, but Erica was watching calmly. Then she smiled and gave a small nod in response.
Good. You got some guts. Good night, Miss Maria. Let's fight in a more challenging game next time.
Sure, let's. It's a promise.
You stop that too, Maria! Come on, let's go. Oh boy.
What about you, Shan-Chan? Come with us if you want to play cards.
Come on. Join us for at least one round. It'll cheer you up.
Just for a bit.
Shannon couldn't remain in this suffocating lounge any longer, either. In part apologetic and in part trying to escape, she followed after Battler's group. After that, Erica was the only one left in the lounge. Still wearing a thin smile, she tapped a glass with her finger. There was a light chink. A surprisingly boring sound. Even so, Erica wore a thin smile, as though pleased.
Chili.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry for keeping you waiting. I was just in the bath. Oh, where is everyone?
You just missed them. They went to the second floor. I'm the one who called you here. I really know a lot about the story of Akuji Kishima and the tale of the Witch of the Forest.
Yes, well... Oh, yes, well... It is a trivial story, but...
I don't mind the slightest if it's trivial. Would you like a drink to follow your bath? Even I like to be helpful every now and then.
Erica stood up, opened the refrigerator behind the counter, and put ice into the ice pail.
Oh boy!
Erica deserves
Come on.
less.
Come on, Shannon. Let's go to the lounge. I'm sure watching
Okay,
paint dry would
cool.
be better than being exposed to that
I can
crap.
share this now because this is a bit of a downtime.
By the way,
I did
I'm
not make
guessing
this.
that I'm gonna have scenes coming up soon, or is that...
I don't know.
Alright, I shall go back
I was
on
watching the video.
mute.
Alright, so right now the video got shown of that. Should I go on ahead, or should I read through the video real quick, or?
You don't have to do the video. I just shared it.
Oh. Alright, go
I
ahead.
don't know if I can play it. It's fine.
Erica-chan, huh? She's an odd kid. Somehow I just can't seem to get along well with young kids these days.
Except for Shannon.
You're still pretty young yourself, George-san.
I guess it's because I've always been the oldest of the cousins. It's always made me feel like I'm not one of the young ones anymore.
George and Shannon could be seen standing in the rainy rose garden.
Though the rain was still pouring down, there was hardly any wind at all. The scant protection provided by the arbor was more than enough to house this secret meeting between lovers. Following that fight with Erica, they decided to play some cards for a change of pace. When that was over, Shannon had returned to the servant room. And shortly after that, George had left his room to meet with Shannon at the time they had arranged.
I think kids around Erica's son's age have a hard time getting along with themselves, more so than any other age.
That's true. Around that age, most kids are so determined to free themselves from the shell of childhood that they lash out in all directions with their beaks. When they do break out, they'll finally be able to stretch their wings and fly high. I was like that too. My old self, still trapped inside that shell, was a weak, deplorable person who I couldn't really respect.
That's not true.
No, it's okay. I realized it myself. Back then, I might have been the oldest of the cousins, but I was still a lazy and hopeless person. And it wasn't with the cousins. At home, at school, I was like that everywhere. I hated being like that. I wanted to break that shell and become a splendid adult like mother and father.
But in the end, you did break out of the shell, George-sama. Every time I've met you these past few years, you've grown beyond recognition.
Thank you.
Did something cause you to make up your mind?
To break out of my shell?
Yes. I can't imagine that you grew so rapidly, like a butterfly breaking out of its cocoon.
No.
By just wandering around aimlessly. I thought there must have been some turning point that made you become so determined.
Okay. I fell in love with you and grew thanks to the power of love. This is what I've told you so far. But the truth is, the turning point was a much more negative emotion.
No way. It's hard to believe that someone who's always as bright and cheerful as you could have negative emotions.
Well, my parents brought me up to treat women with care. And I thought that I'd manage to live my life that way.
Yes. I think you're wonderful, a real gentleman.
But I'm not, actually. I didn't know how to interact with the opposite sex. I defied them excessively, though I always behaved in a gentlemanly, ladies first kind of way. I was probably outright afraid of interacting with girls.
Of course, Georgia wanted to be around girls as much as any healthy boy might. However, he didn't know how to interact with them. He wanted to act like a gentleman to avoid being disliked by them, treating them with care. Of those feelings, only the words, "treat one with care," took precedence, blossoming into a subconscious fear of women.
You might call a man like that gentlemanly or a late bloomer. Ridiculous. I was just a coward. Because of that, I started to wonder why I couldn't get a girlfriend if I was so gentlemanly. And I eventually came to the conclusion that all the women in the world had no taste, and I started to hate all of them. Selfishly. That's what a truly pathetic man looks like. How many years ago was it when I noticed? Probably when I was in middle school. At the time, I assumed I was obviously the most gentlemanly of the cousins, so I would obviously be the be popular with women. However, it was very different. At school, I was pretty much completely helpless. Far from being a leader, I was typically a bullied kid who got pushed around by everyone. At the time, I figured that I was just a capable and adaptable man who could keep in perfect tune with his surroundings. How stupid. Sure, I might have gained some measure of trust from girls. There weren't even girls I could call friends. Of course. I was a man who always stepped back for the sake of the ladies first. Who would ever want to fall behind such a negative, unmotivated man? It's funny. I didn't even realize this, and I was convinced I was an attractive guy.
I can sort of understand how you felt. Just because someone puts in a lot of hard work to look attractive to the opposite sex, it doesn't necessarily work out as they plan.
Oh? Has that happened to you, Shannon?
Of course. One time I wanted to catch a boy's eyes so much, I tried to put on makeup even though I didn't know how and embarrassed myself. I remember a lot of embarrassing failures.
The person that made me finally get over my conceit and open eyes was you, Shannon. No, it was both of you.
What was the turning point for you, George-san?
Envy, probably.
That's unexpected. But envy over what?
I saw you and Ballerkin having a really good time talking. That made me envious.
Me and Butler-sama?
Shannon, wait.
Shannon raced through her memories, trying to find a conversation that might have made George envious.
Haha, it probably seemed trivial to you two. However, it still made me envious. I don't want Balor to hear what I say next, no matter what. Can you promise me?
Of course.
This is gonna be a shameful confession. Still, I want you to hear it. To hear your answer tonight. Only after I've told you about my bad sides as well.
Okay. Let me hear it.
With a smile but a serious look in her eyes, Shannon nodded. Tonight. She knew what he was going to ask her tonight. George had the right to confess before asking that sacred question, and Shannon had the obligation to listen. Shannon understood this, so she listened quietly.
So, This is what a witch of theater-going peeps in on during her spare time.
Stories of love are precious in any age. I never tire of them. However, I do find that expression of virgin disgust on your face even more amusing.
Featherman laughed quietly. Angie huffed and looked away. But she quickly realized this would only entertain Featherin even more, as he tried to act unconcerned.
Both Batwick and Jessica Chan have always been spirited. No, phrasing it that way is just dodging the issue. Let me be frank.
Frank looked up where the moon should be.
Huh?
George looked up where the moon... He said he wanted to be frank.
Oh.
George looked up at where the moon should be, high above the rain clouds, and spoke. They were honest words, spoken simply from George's heart. Sorry about that.
For a long time back then, I thought Batwick and Jessica Chan as bad-mannered kids. No, let me be even more blunt. I thought that even the way they talked was vulgar. It's true. I don't mind if you hold me in contempt for that.
I don't. People are allowed to think anything they want inside their heart. In fact, I think you are all the more commendable for not letting it show on the outside.
Thanks. I secretly look down on those two. I was so conceited that I truly thought I was just overflowing with gentlemanly charm compared to them. I was at the age where having a girlfriend felt like a necessary condition for becoming a real man. I truly believed that no girl could fail to admire a gentleman who treated girls as well as I did. So I really did assume that girls I knew were attracted to me. I thought that Batwick and Jessica-chan, who always joked around and spoke in a rude, vulgar fashion, would never be able to get a boyfriend or girlfriend. I might have used that argument to distract myself when I still couldn't get one myself. I was a fool. They weren't inferior to me at all. I was the inferior one with my deficit. How do you say that?
Deification.
Deification of the opposite sex, and my fear, which I hid under the guise of ladies first.
And that's been Battler and Jessica's personality from the beginning. And true, they were rude, and one couldn't call them gentlemanly or ladylike. However, they did have the power to interact without worrying about gender. In fact, you might even call that their charm.
I sort of understand. People like Oni-chan and Jessica One-chan can get along with anyone, whether that person's a boy or a girl. I hate to bring it up because of George Oni-chan, but I find people who act too overtly like a gentleman a bit creepy. It's like they're virgins trying too hard, or whatever.
When dealing with strangers, people prefer them to be harmless and boring. However, they only appreciate these qualities because such a person doesn't get in the way. No human would want to hang around with a boring person all the time.
Of course. No idiot would want to be friends with an unmoving, unspeaking telephone pole. However, unmoving and unspeaking is exactly what you'd want from a telephone pole.
That's it. It seems as though George finally discovered that he wouldn't be viewed as an attractive man no matter how superior he was. And that he had been treated like a telephone pole the whole time.
Back then, my conceit was at its peak. So, when everyone gathered at the family conference, I believed that I was the most attractive, and that all the servant girls who played with us loved having me there. On that day, I finally realized how pathetic I was.
Did I say something inconsiderate then?
Oh, no, it's the opposite. You didn't say anything at all. My conceited delusion that I was the only one ever reflected in your eyes was crushed. Just when did it start? No, it must have started long before then. I only failed to notice because my eyes were clouded with conceit. One day I suddenly realized it. All of you were getting along with Batlukin and Jessica-chan far better than with me. Playing around and having a good time. Yeah. The two, whom I'd looked down upon so much, are radiating far more charm than I ever was. You really looked like you were enjoying yourself that day. The look on your face was far brighter than any you ever showed me. Sickening, isn't it? I just assumed that you liked me. And I even had some childish fantasy that we might just end up dating. I one-sidedly felt as though my girlfriend had been stolen from me and let myself feel hurt. I was such a pathetic man. That's when I realized how foolish I'd been.
George-sama.
After that, stuff happened and Ballerkun stopped coming to the family conferences, but I heard about him from time to time from Uncle Rudolph. He's a pretty funny guy. Even though he got in fights with Batlerkin all the time, he always paid close attention to what his son was up to.
That's true. He spoke to me about it as well. I think even Asuno-sama was exasperated by it. She thought all his popularity with the girls at school and then ceasing to travel discussed must have been because of Rudolph-sama's blood.
And Jessica-chan too. I heard she built up a huge number of friends, both boys and girls, and that she was always right in the middle of things. When I talked to her myself, I could see that this was no exaggeration. This proved that the two I looked down upon were much more attractive human beings than I was. At first, I tried to imitate those two. It was, pretty ridiculous. I thought that by joking around and speaking rudely, I could get the same charm that they had.
You did that? It's a bit hard to picture.
It was miserable. I wish I could forget that time for the rest of my life. In any event, I quickly realized that I could never become truly attractive by imitating them like that. The reason why I had no charm was because of my cowardice. Under the pretense of respecting people and acting to fit in with the general atmosphere, I was always running away. I resolved myself to overcome that flaw and be reborn. I finally understood the shell I was in, and I swore to break out of it. Every time my determination began to waver, I'd remember that day. That day I saw you two forget about me entirely and play around happily. And the fact that those eyes of yours, which I always assumed were attracted to me, never noticed me at all. I made an oath. This time I wanted to be the one who caught your attention for real, the one reflected in your eyes. That's why the first thing I fell when I fell in love with you.
Sounds like it was pretty complicated for you.
On that day, my desire for revenge against the two of you, who had ignored me and played together, no, against you alone, suddenly transformed into true love. However, I swear this to God. Even though that was a reason I first started to take you seriously, there was no lies in the way that I feel about you now. I swear to love you for all my life. I will not lie about that for anyone or anything. And I am prepared to take you as my wife, even if it means having the entire world as my enemy.
George, son.
That's a confession I wanted to make to you beforehand. Before now, I've always called you my first love. Love at first sight. That was a lie. That was only my selfish, twisted...
That doesn't matter.
Shannon smiled.
Shannon smiled, but she spoke forcefully enough to cut through George's words.
Is there some rule saying that people can't get together just because they read each other's first love? Is it betrayal to forget the first person you fell in love with? Love isn't that simple. Well, it might be simple. After all, love is easy. At all times, whatever you feel now, only the honest feelings you feel now can tell you the right answer. So, things of the past or how our relationship started aren't important at all.
And confessing to all that was wrong of me?
Now, I'm a bit glad to learn that even George-san, who's always perfect at everything, has a human side to him. And I'm kind of glad that I'm the only person you've told this to.
Thank you. I was only able to become who I am because of you.
Me too. I am as I am because of you, George-san. So please, tell me without holding back. What kind of husband and wife we will be. And what kind of future we will build together.
when I have you as my wife, I'll become an even more accomplished businessman than my father. And after several challenges and adventures, I hope to find the limits of my potential. I want to reach that peak together with you. That view from there will be something that no one can show you but me.
It sounds fun. I'll be with you wherever you go.
Of course, it won't only be an adventure as a businessman. I like to create many things that only a couple can make.
And what could that be?
Let's have some kids.
Yes, my husband.
I like 3 of them at the least. At least 1 boy and 1 girl.
And what if all 3 are boys?
And the next one might be a girl. We could have a 4th one. Doesn't matter how many. Let's enjoy the adventure of bringing them up together. And when those children eventually leave their nest, they'll make us some grandchildren. Before we know it, we'll reach the boisterous old age surrounded by a whole crowd of kids and grandchildren.
It sounds like fun. I wonder what kind of grandpa you'll be.
I wonder what kind of grandma you'd be. However, I'll always keep loving you. And eventually, as we pass away, surrounded by our vast family, our lives will stretch behind us, unmatched by anyone else's.
George didn't just talk about his love of the present. He swore to love her soul until the final moment, where the lid of their coffins would be shut. Then George took a small box out of his pocket. Even without opening it, she knew what was inside. He took it out with a motion that was even more natural than the one he'd practiced in the airport bathroom. And it was overflowing with masculine charm.
Seo.
Yes.
Let's get married.
Yes.
Please, take this ring and put it on your finger.
Yes, George-san.
That ring, which glistened divinely even in the dim light of the arbor, passed from George's hand to Shannon's finger. For Shannon had already decided which finger to put it on.
I swear to resolutely stand against any fate that may attempt to stand in the way of our future.
George proclaimed that he would reveal their engagement to the entire family on the next day.
My parents might criticize this marriage. However, I will not let them stop us. I'm going to inform them of our engagement, not to ask for their permission. Mother says that she won't allow our marriage. I plan to have myself disinherited and we'll leave this family together. I've been prepared for that since long ago. I swear once again to resolutely stand against all the fates that get in the way of our future.
George had said it aloud, so Shannon said the same thing.
Me too. I swear to stand against all fates that get in the way of our future, George-san.
That was sweet.
Battler son, when will the crime start? We're just about had it with this love show. Be quiet and watch. Sure, fine.
I hate to yawn and let some spectacular bit of foreshadowing slip by.
Do you have no love?
Are there any mystery novels that accept love as proof? No, there aren't.
Erica laughed coldly and stared down at the two on the game board. Bandler watched her quietly. Erica thought she felt a touch of pity in his gaze, and she averted her eyes uncomfortably.
I do understand, more or less. Love can at least become a motive for murder. I can interpret the scene beneath the arbor as to represent a possible motive for the crime if their engagement is somehow impeded. Then again, no matter how much people talk of love with words that aren't read, it's all just an illusion.
That's sad. Still, you can never love a human without proof given to you by a witch.
Please put an end to this frivolous love talk. I'm your enemy, not a friend with whom you can talk about love just for the hell of it. I can't understand you at all right now. What on earth did you figure out? Weren't you and Beto always insulting and trying to kill each other? What kind of truth could you have reached to make you change your emotions regarding her? Please don't tell me that the feelings of true love have sprouted from your murderous rivalry or anything like that, okay?
Lady Erica. Let us have him continue the game's progression. Boring love scenes such as this are best finished quickly.
You got a point there. Sorry for butting in. Come on, let's move on.
Gesundheit.
No, I wasn't. I didn't cough. I'm sorry. I have a thread of funny Tumblr posts open on my right monitor. I read one. I'm terribly sorry. Anyways, Shannon, go ahead.
It's Shannon. I've come back.
This is Thancred.
Genji. Indeed.
Genji-sama.
The log for today has not been filled out.
Yes. I'll do that right away.
I gotta mute.
Kanken, thanks for keeping an eye out while I was gone.
That was a pretty long break.
Cannon had already noticed. There's a silvery glint coming from the ring finger on Shannon's left hand.
Then I will retire. Please do not hesitate to wake me if anything occurs.
Good night.
Good night, Genji-sama.
Genji-sama.
Close enough. Genji disappeared off to the waiting room. After that, only Shannon and Cannon remained.
Thanks for giving me some time. I'll stay here for the rest, so you can go to sleep now.
So, it's my turn next.
Yeah. Sorry, but we aren't going to lose.
And I won't lose either.
Even though you've always been a coward and let me lady take the lead until now?
Wasn't it you who taught me, Nason?
What did I teach you?
The past is immaterial when it comes to love. The present is all that matters. If that's true, then I think my present is in no way inferior to yours, Nason.
Shannon and Cannon glared at each other with serious eyes. That period of tension vanished when Shannon chuckled.
Yeah. That's good. You and Milady have to give it your all. If you do end up together, make sure you build up a relationship wonderful enough that the rest of us can cheer you on with all our hearts.
Well, you do have a huge lead on me.
There's no helping that. That's what you get for your cowardice before now.
I know. That is my sin.
Shannon and Cannon fished around in their pockets and drew out two small things that glittered gold. They looked like the left and right wings of a gold butterfly.
We are furniture. In order to become human and receive the miracle that allows us to love, we must rely on the miracle of magic once again.
To think that your brooch would actually prove useful.
It's the only magic within our reach.
It was the golden butterfly brooch, which Beatrice had once given to Shannon in hopes of creating love between her and George. Shannon then gave it to Cannon, but he let his emotions get a hold of him and crushed it into pieces. So when the two wings they held were brought together, it would regain the form of a beautiful butterfly.
Then I'll be back soon. After all, they have asked me to play cards with them.
Yeah. Good luck. I'm sure Milady will be happy.
It's a bit embarrassing.
Enjoy that feeling.
Cannon left the servant room. He went to see Jessica and tell her what he had determined to do. Shannon quietly watched him go. The fragment of the brooch and the engagement ring let off a gold and silver glint.
That takes me back. That's something I gave Shannon, if I recall. I always wondered if they had lost it after Cannon stepped on it, but it seems they still had it the whole time.
That's the golden butterfly brooch, isn't it? I read about the magical brooch that can save a love relationship in Miss Feather and Son's books.
That had been the first time that Beatrice, Witch of the Forest, had interacted with a human and given them her power. Bit by bit she had transformed from a mere ghost to the ruler of the mansion at night, and by making the servants believe in her, she had wiped away the anti-magic power. And then it eventually became possible for her to appear openly in front of Shannon, whose magic resistance had grown particularly low and who had begun to believe in the existence of Beatrice. To Beato, who had been unable to interact with anyone for many years, this conversation with Shannon must have been especially fun.
And that's why I generously gave her the butterfly brooch. I was in quite a good mood. It is no common thing for a heartless witch such as myself to be so gracious.
But it's wonderful. You brought a pair of future lovers together.
Of course, I did not do it to pamper them. It was in exchange for smashing that hateful spirit mirror that had repressed my magical powers. Thanks to that, I was able to regain much of my power all in one go.
Jelly.
But then, one night, purple lightning smashed the shrine. Those of us surrounding islands called it an evil omen. Now that I think of it, that might have been a prelude to Beatrice-sama's resurrection.
Kumasao had the rest of the night off. So she had let Erika talk her into drinking a bit. Now chatting about the legend of Aokuji Kishima and Beatrice in a happy, tipsy mood.
Oh, I see.
Erika would nod from time to time, but besides this, she listened in complete silence. She wasn't actually taking notes, but she was gathering information on the whiteboard inside her head. Then she frowned as though noticing something out of place and held up her hand.
Wait a second.
Yes.
The charm is built by a traveling Shugenja monk to seal the evil spirits of Akuji Kishima. Isn't that right?
That is correct. 'Twas one who possessed a vast supernatural power, and who then placed that power within the mirror.
And placed it within the shrine as a sacred mirror to seal the evil spirits. Something feels off about that. Why would the shrine to seal the evil spirits of Akuji Kishima also seal Beatrice?
Well, because the sacred mirror's spiritual power.
I see. So it's this really convenient sacred mirror that works on both evil spirits from the east and witches from the west. Got it. I'm still not satisfied, but I'll back off there for now. What I don't understand is why Beatrice can't stand spiderwebs.
I gotta back up a little bit. According to the legends, the evil spirits of Akuji Kishima despise spiderwebs. But they were apparently used as wards against evil in the surrounding islands. In fact, spiders are a useful bug. Something strange about the fact that island farmers had treasured them. It's very possible that they were then tied to the story of evil spirits and became known as charms against evil, leading to a tradition of people treating this useful bug with care throughout generations.
But that's the legend of Akuji Kishima. The origins for the legend of the witch, Beatrice, came after Yoshimiya Kinzo moved to this island. When rumors sprouted about the mysterious legends of the gold, as well as the witch mistress who gave it to him. In other words, the evil spirits of Akuji Kishima and the golden witch Beatrice were originally completely different things, and yet the stories treat them like they're the same.
The mute button, there we go. Well, now.
The evil spirits of Akuji Kishima couldn't stand spiderwebs, so neither could Beatrice. That sort of reasoning had been applied all over the place. When it was pointed out that this was strange, Kumasawa was lost for an answer.
The door up to Kinzo-san's study has a scorpion magic circle drawn on it. It represents a charm against evil in Western society. That's why the Western witch Beatrice can't touch it. I can understand that part. There's no reason for Beatrice to dislike spiderwebs. I don't remember spiderwebs ever being included among those things witches can't stand. On the contrary, wouldn't spiders be the friends and minions of a witch?
By the way, could you hear my typing?
No.
I could not.
Okay, good. Excellent. That's great. Well...
In my opinion, those two legends about the evil spirits of Akuji Kishima and the witch Beatrice have been mixed together a little. In fact, maybe they've been fully fused together as one. The legend of Akuji Kishima is a fairy tale created by a fisherman fearful of reefs in the Rokenjima area. However, there was no visual image to go along with those evil spirits. Were they people or monsters? Or ghosts without legs? There's no mental picture of them. People are bad at imagining things without visuals. That's when the legend of the witch called Beatrice comes in. A witch is a lot easier to picture than evil spirits. And on top of that, Kinzo-san had a portrait of Beatrice drawn and displayed. In other words, the lack of a visual image, which was the one weak point in the legend of Akuji Kishima, was finally completed. Since then, perhaps the two legends have been mixed together.
Well, I wonder. Did I? Oh, there it is. It is a bit confusing for an old lady such as myself.
Kumasawa laughed to smooth it over, wiping away a cold sweat. Trina seemed confused, but she actually did understand what Erika was saying. In truth, she had been vaguely aware of how the legend of Akuji Kishima, which has been around before Ushumi Kinzo had come to Rokenjima, and the legend of the Golden Witch, the story of the woman who had given Kinzo a vast quantity of gold, had both transformed. She didn't want to acknowledge it, but she knew. The setting, where Beatrice hated the spirit mirror and spiderwebs, has been based on the ancient legend of Akuji Kishima. The evil spirits, part of the legend, had just been replaced by the witch of the portrait.
So, if there really was someone claiming to be the Golden Witch Beatrice, I'd really like to ask her whether she actually does hate spiderwebs or not. What happens when she touches them?
Shellington, you need it on set.
I said the entire line while
Did not
on
hear
mute.
a single word. Yeah.
That is my fault, and I will do it again. It is said that witches and their minions receive burns when they touch spiderweb, so it is probably what would happen, I suppose. Also, Chellington is a terrible nickname.
That's not bad. A splendid witch
Yes, it
trial.
is.
If the spider touches her and she gets burned, then she's an evil spirit, not a witch. And if nothing happens, then it just proves that she's just a human. In other words, whether she's burned or not, will prove that the Golden Witch doesn't exist. The legend of the witch is nothing more than the legend of Akuji Kishima reboiled with a new face on it.
Well...
Simply by the existence of the legend itself, this level of reasoning is possible for Furuto Erika. What do you think, everyone?
Though only the two of them were in the lounge, Erika faced in the direction an invisible audience would have been, and shrugged. And just as Erika imagined, the target of her comments actually were there, listening in.
Spider webs? They burn if you touch them?
When Beata the Elder snapped her fingers, a graceful silver spider slipped down from the ceiling, hanging by a transparent thread. Afterwards, only a single silver strand remained. Timidly. I think we're wrong, Beato.
Wrong, Beato.
Timidly, Beato stretched her finger out towards the spider's string. And then she touched it.
I'm fine.
You are.
Huh?
Beato the Elder lifted up a white, pale finger, and after showing it to her little sister, she traced the silver string with it. There was a stench like a single hair being burnt. Once again, she held her finger up in front of Beato, who was stunned. There was a thin burn line, as though someone had traced across it with a razor.
What's going on?
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Whew.
That's what I would like to know. Why are you unharmed?
I don't know. What I don't understand is why you do get burned by touching a spider web.
I do not know. It's always been like that since I first gained consciousness.
Then, are you...
Beato hesitated. However, her question was clear.
No. I am not one of the evil spirits of Akujikishima. I am Beatrice, ruler of Rokenjima's Night. Even if I do not know why I have the same weakness as this island's evil spirits of old.
Are spider webs the only things you can't handle?
As the Zerika person said, I cannot touch the doorknob to Kinzo's study. That scorpion magic circle burns me. For me, trying to open the door to that study is like trying to pick a red-hot horseshoe out of a fire. What about you?
Huh? Scorpion magic circles, you mean?
The older sister snapped her fingers again. When she did, the surrounding scene bent and twisted, as they had suddenly moved to the place in front of Kinzo's study. And there was the doorknob engraved with the scorpion magic circle.
Those who research magic must have a refuge sealed off from both human and spiritual disturbances. It's no surprise that Kinzo chose to seal off his study and place a charm such as this here. And, unfortunately, that affects me as well.
She gently grasped the doorknob. As she did, a violent burning sound, unbelievably stronger than the one caused by the spiderweb, rang out.
Onisama, are you okay? Your hand...
Her hand had been horribly burnt, and Beato couldn't help but avert her eyes.
Fear not. This scratch will heal quickly.
Apparently it would heal by itself if let alone. The older sister seemed to heal at an inhuman rate.
However, it seems that you can handle it just fine.
She timidly poked the doorknob. Nothing happened. Slowly she touched it with her entire palm, but she felt nothing but a pleasantly cool sensation.
Strange. Though you are my double, you're different from me in several ways.
While I might be able to touch the doorknob, if I ever get burnt like you did, I don't think I'd heal that easily.
It's as though you're a normal human.
Yes. Even I find it a little hard to believe that I'm a witch. I can't use magic like you, and I can't get strange burns or heal them from them later. Father believed that I was a great witch reborn, but I cannot believe that.
Who are you?
I am Beatrice. I was born for Father's sake. And you, Onesama?
I am also Beatrice. I used magic to give Kinzo gold and later became a soul, the formless witch that haunts this island.
Just who on earth are we?
Unlike me, you seem to be a being in possession of a body.
Huh? Really?
Yes. I thought of it while listening to that Erica person. I'm a witch who can use magic but has no body. And you are a witch who has a body but can use no magic. Eventually, perhaps we become one, each filling in what the other lacks to form the true, complete Beatrice.
It seemed to make sense. Both the Beatrices were missing something. If they became one, they would surely be very close to the Beatrice that Battler desired.
Do you want to try?
Huh?
Hold out your hand.
The oldest sister slowly raised her palm and held it out before Beata. The large burn from a second ago really had started to heal already.
It may be possible for us to become one. I want to know as well. By becoming one with you, I want to learn about my future self.
Beata also raised her hand slowly, and the two hands touched. But nothing happened. Perhaps this meant that, while they were fated to become one eventually, that time had not yet come.
For me, being burned by spiderwebs is perfectly normal. However, you didn't even know about it. In the same way, you say that the reason you were born was for your father's sake. Apparently that father is Ushiromi Battler. I know him as a rare guest who only comes a few times a year. But I cannot understand what connection you and I have with such an infrequent visitor. Surely, we must learn more about each other.
Yeah, you're right. I get the feeling that learning about each other will lead us to something very important. Can I still?
Sorry. On the other side lies the single future Beatrice. No, it may be more correct to call her the true form we are meant to possess.
With their hands still joined, the two Beatrices swore to fill in the parts the other lacked, and regain their single form. Bit by bit, Beata was walking down the path that led to the former Beatrice.
Is that the chapter?
That is it for now.
Yeah.
It's 11:45 anyway, so yeah, it's about time we shifted into discussion mode.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, baby.
You could keep going for a bit more, but yeah, it's fine.
What do you mean could
Negative.
keep? What? Now we're good.
We have like 15 minutes before 12.
What
I think that
15 minutes before 12? 15?
Yeah,
15 minutes to 12 Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
What were you about to say a while ago?
What do you mean?
I was about to go ahead and speak, and you said something?
I don't remember.
Sounded angry.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
At any rate,
Sorry.
no, you're fine. Anyways, you gamers have about 5 minutes to take some time and go over your thoughts and any discussion points you want to have before we go ahead and shift into the discussion point.
I'm ready whenever. Not sure about the others.
Well, we're gonna take a little bit anyway. So first, we're gonna have some casual discussion, Ray.
The timer has started.
Man,
Anyway.
George is a weirdo.
Ah.
And I'm not sure if it's if he's meant to seem like a weirdo or if this is just supposed to seem natural.
I can't
George
believe
was
I
the
got
proto incel.
I can't believe I got to murder AC while he couldn't defend himself.
You stupid.
See, this is what I'm talking about. The world gets AC
if I had a
perfectly.
recording of that moment, it would just be like, yeah, whatever, George line. Like, the moment I let go of the button, there were screams, there was no, wait.
I fucking gasped.
George is the supreme gentleman.
Good thing I was fucking muted, because holy shit.
I will say,
I could kind of hear it in your reading just a smidge.
I will say that to give George a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, he kind of realized that was kind of shitty of him.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's called growth.
And I have a lot of props for incels who stopped being incels.
I'd like to ask, at what point did he say that he started becoming attracted to her? Did he say?
The implication was he was always attracted to her.
I'm gonna shut up.
About 6 years ago.
Like, the implication was that he was always kind of into her, but like he didn't resolve to change himself until about 6 years ago. Like, that was the last conference before Battler left the family registry. Now, keep in mind, as it stands right now, Shannon is a 16-year-old woman. George is 23 years old.
She was fucking 10 6 years ago. My fucking god.
And George was 17.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. I almost dropped this character at the scene, but I think that would be unfair to drop someone because of that knowledge, so I just stuck with them.
I genuinely believe that Ryukishi forgot that he was 23 years old.
I mean, I can see in 1986 someone being like this.
No,
that's definitely a thing that can happen in that time with that sort of family, like a quote unquote high class family with servants and stuff, maybe. But this was written in like 2008 or 2009. So, nah.
It's treated so casually, though. I can't imagine it was ever normal at that period of time.
I mean, unfortunately, child marriages are still legal in places.
Yeah.
But also, I do think, like, Ryukishi had, like, a math, like...
I think he just forgot.
I would say that, but Higurashi.
I'm not even gonna put it at that. I think he just forgot.
I think literally talking about Irie. That's it.
Let us stray away from this.
Yes, people.
Some people are not Higurashi literate in this room.
So I would also recommend just not even bringing it up. Noir does bring up an interesting point that yes, like he kind of tried to get with her mostly because of like spite. I don't think that's not really quite how I read it. I mean, I guess like he was jealous, but that wasn't like the sole reason he started going for her. I don't know.
Well, he admitted that his love was not a love at first sight. And it was based in his negative emotion.
Also, I think I was like pretty tired throughout a good chunk of this, so it's like I feel like I missed some stuff, but like at that part I started waking up more.
Oh, what? You don't just casually phase out the terms of like someone admitting they were an exes.
This actually reminds me of something. May I quickly talk about on a tangent quickly? Alright, the book I'm currently listening to is about like early hackers, and there was this one part where it mentioned like people saw this one guy trying to get children into like programming as a guy trying to, like, as a pedophile might try to molest a child.
What?
What? Because of just how, like, determined he was and how he was, like, always around children or something.
Oh,
into programming. It was totally innocent. I think it was just some creative license. I'm not saying this as a quote, but it was basically that. It was, like, something about it being like that. And then, like, I kind of went from zoned out to, wait, what's just said? I think it was just creative license on the part of the narrator.
brought
I
us
don't
something?
necessarily see how this is relevant.
Because it's that I was zoned out until the weird shit started happening. Where I
Interesting.
snapped back in.
Interesting.
But luckily, our 5
snap
minutes
back to
have
that.
gone by, so shift into actual discussion time.
Alright, first thought. Wait, no, this is... Wait, shit, this was from the last session. I had to find the current session shit. Oh, I went far up.
And I've got my talking points.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so I guess this was kind of gone over already, but like my first note was Maria mentioned it was a ordinary cup and table whenever she was having her potentially pointless argument. I don't know, maybe it'll come back up again. It said it was an ordinary cup and table, and that sleight of hand doesn't doesn't count. Then I thought, doesn't sleight of hand a lot of times rely on distraction? Then Erica went into how it could be done by distraction. I'm wondering if this might come up in future stuff.
Yeah, it's like what I said. I posited a theory that, the game said there's no such thing as magic at the interlude in chapter 5, like before like the epilogue. So I was like, what is the point of all this magic? Well, the answer is that what is happening is the serial killer who is so good at misdirection and confusion that it seems like magic.
First off, that's not what serial killer means, but that's besides the point.
Technically speaking,
Digression.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
No,
Semantics. All right, let's know what's this thing.
No, go ahead.
All right. Anybody have thoughts on what I said? I mean, Shelly gave his thoughts. Anybody else have thoughts on that?
I want to go ahead and, if I may, redirect involving the entire quote-unquote fight between Erica and Maria. Because at that point, it wasn't just a fight. That was literally a narcissistic jerkbag literally crushing the dreams of an 8-year-old or 9-year-old child.
Intellectual rapist.
Yeah, some people enjoy
God
this.
damn it, stop saying it like that.
Redditors, when they see a child enjoying things.
Stop saying it like a quote, because it was a quote.
It's what's said. Erica is by definition an intellectual rapist. Simple as.
By her own definition.
Weird.
Well, it's almost like it's meant to sound weird and gross and disgusting, and that the
Like
person.
George.
I.
To be fair.
Chelly,
Go ahead, Con.
Sorry.
Stop apologizing.
Con, go.
Oh, okay. Chelly, you sound really far away.
Okay.
Con, go.
Let's fix that.
There was also a line that Angie said during that which sort of made me take a double look. She said that that magic could even go ahead and make a mass-produced stuffed animal become a handmade mother's gift. And something just clicked in my brain. What if Sakotaro wasn't a handmade gift that Maria was given? What if it was just Rosa buying a last-minute birthday present for her, and she said it was handmade?
Not out of character
There's the
for her.
misdirection. There you go.
It's not out of character for someone like Rosa.
Yeah, that's actually a good theory.
To be honest, I thought that like the idea that her love gave it life makes more sense if she didn't literally spend the time to hand knit the stuffed animal. If she just bought it off a shelf and then infused her feelings of love for Maria into it, that feels a lot more special, even if only because you have to work harder. Like if you spend the time and like knit something for someone, that's transferring a lot more feelings into it. You know what I mean?
And I understand. At the same time, this also means that some of that feeling may have also just been artificial.
It's like if you go on... Oh, sorry.
As Rosa is wont to do.
True.
I was just gonna say, it's like going on Google Images and just picking an image for someone versus spending the time and, like, commissioning something, I guess. I don't know. But it's the idea of putting the effort in.
And we go with the theme of the stakes being cheap shit.
Like the cheap paperweight knockoffs.
Yeah.
It would also explain how Anji was able to, quote, recreate Sakataro so easily. Because if it's mass-produced toy, it never quite loses a vessel. It can just be replaced.
Are there any other thoughts regarding that? Because I also had more stuff to go into.
Let's continue.
Alright. Could Maria's personality changes be the player Maria taking over? That makes sense. Yes? No?
Maria's not really a player.
Does Maria have a meta level?
Yes! She has the
Are you
staff!
talking about? Are you talking about just the part where she's torturing her mom every
I'm
second?
talking about
or-
her with the staff, where they went into the meta world in the Golden Land place, and she's like, then they get into the fight with Nox. I figured
think
that was her, the player.
I think currently she's still a player, but it's that weird meta in between.
Because there's like multiple
player.
levels of meta.
I figured it was the Witch Maria taking over, the body of Tiny Maria.
Yeah, but
No.
I mean, if we go with that theory that her like evil kick laugh is just her coping strategy,
I mean, we don't
because
know
she's
that.
killing her mom in her dreams or something. That's what Orange had, I think. Like, I guess that makes sense. She's just had enough of being bullied, so she's like, all right, I'll just bully you instead in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going off of the if magic exists theory at the moment.
But wasn't magic like explicitly proven to not exist at the end of the epilogue, where
I don't think
you know,
so.
Battler was reading the Nox commandments, and one of them was supernatural entities cannot exist in a mystery?
I don't, yeah, but I think that the idea was that the part of the mystery, like there's two parts of this, the fantasy and the mystery, and I believe they are separate stories.
And yet, they combine to become a whole one.
Yeah.
Just
It's
like
that supernatural entity, like, circumstance cannot be happening on the board.
But I took that as proof that magic doesn't exist. Should I have not
It
read that
doesn't
far
prove-
into it?
It's not so much that, I mean, that's a fine theory, but I just don't believe that is what it's saying.
So you wouldn't say that that's a confirm?
For me, no.
Okay.
That is up to your interpretation. I assume. I should have went further down. I forgot to go to my next note. Shit. Okay. Any other thoughts on what I just said?
Mm-mm.
Didn't we have a conversation about what type of being Beatrice is, regarding if she counted as a spirit? Because I remember, like, asking at one point, I believe, wait, does Beatrice count as a ghost? Is what does it mean by spirit? Is she? I remember this being a conversation.
We did.
About the semantics, and if it mattered.
Yeah.
And they went into it here, and it seems like they're kind of going into it here about what she is, what she counts as. Like, okay, if she was this thing, she would be affected by this. But is she really being affected by this? And now we're seeing two different versions of her that are being affected by the spider web.
It felt more as if this was also involvement not only of the genres of mystery and fantasy getting together, which I was trying to say a moment ago. There's like the other Beatrices and they can't fuse because, well, one, fantasy, mystery. It's hard to combine them until you get the right elements together. Eh? And
I
secondly,
still feel. Wait. Oh, sorry.
And secondly, it felt more. From what I got from the conversation, it was mostly Erica trying to poke holes in another illusion of the witch involving the legends. And it does feel as if those two legends got compounded into one.
Compounded and seemingly confused, maybe?
It seems more as
intertwined.
If intertwined is actually a better word. Thank you, Crimson.
But what I was saying a second ago is I always thought a witch was just a human who accepted the idea of magic and therefore was able to tap into it. But from what Beatrice and the elder Beatrice was saying, it seems like they're just not human at all. Or they turned human, or
well, I think
I'm
this
not
is
sure
kind
on
of.
that.
I think this is supposed to be one of the things we're trying to figure out of what are they. Like, it feels like, and I can't tell, because it seems like it's possibly confused and intentionally so, or it could be that, no, they're just working off their own logic that we just didn't understand.
Or
Yeah, you go.
Or this is a combination of what we've seen prior. We know that the truth can be turned over and be taken over by a new truth. And such as Angie said before, a future truth can rewrite a past one. It seemed that there was actually a separate truth, where these were separate legends, but they somehow got mixed together and intertwined. So now they are in truth as of this current moment in time, they are true.
Yeah, it's like how some chapters have different killers. Like, wasn't like Ava a killer in one of the arcs?
That's the third one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like each like different arcs have different killers, but those are different possible truths, like you just said.
I think that feels like it's tying into the idea that people offshore are trying to figure out the mystery of Rukindrima, and I'm wondering if that might, like, I feel like I might have mentioned this before. One of my theories is potentially like these alternate scenarios are potentially other people trying to figure out what happened, but I don't think that is the case.
Didn't they discuss that at the beginning of this episode?
Was it this one? Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of did. Because,
yeah, like I said that, I'm pretty sure I brought this up.
Every time the theories get more and more elaborate, I'm just wondering, is this really like the level of... No, all I'm saying is that I don't know like how, if these theories could ever match up to what the actual truth is, in the way that they're getting so elaborate that it's only fun to theory craft. I don't know if any of it's actually going to be right.
I mean, to actually like make a legitimate go at this mystery, I feel like we would just need to straight up reread the questions arc, and I don't think any of us are doing that. I don't think any of us have the time to do that.
I don't. I have a job now. But I feel like the answer to the mystery is just going to be pure human emotion causing somebody to do something that makes no sense to anyone but themselves, just like a certain other thing. But you know what I mean by that? Like, it'll just be something where the reason why the questions and the answers, we're trying to figure out why this person is doing this, and we'll figure that out by episode 8.
I mean, I feel, yeah.
Possibly. The way I see it, it's as if we're heading towards separate truths, or at least separate truths that can also just coexist. Or at least I'm glad I'm getting that now.
I think there's gonna be a single answer.
I mean, you know, knowing the writing style, there will be one singular villain that everything will result around. I don't know if it's going to be a witch, actually, and it's like the ultimate misdirection, or if it's one of the family members.
I really don't think we can accurately say we know the writing style. We know the writing style of a single story that we're not going to go into.
That would
I'm not trying to use a meta knowledge. I'm just saying people write what they know. That's all.
That would only be assumed if we try to go ahead and put ourselves in Ryukishi's position. Of course, we're spectators. We're pretty much the same as anyone else who's off on the board watching the story themselves. All we can do is speculate and then just keep seeing where everything goes.
So are we still like on a subject? Because it just sounds like we're commentating now on our place in the story, which, I mean, I think we know that.
I think we lost the subjects, to be honest, at this point. But
by the way, I gave all my thoughts. I that's the end of my note.
And I gave my thoughts responding to people. So if anyone else wants to go,
just about 2 more. One interesting note: Beato's little pranks helping to create the illusion of the witch in the first place. It's sort of like how creating urban legends, spreading them via rumor. Mostly because if you have the right creep elements in the right place, people will go ahead and talk. For example, there is a creepy as fuck abandoned child orphanage on the edge of my town, and people are convinced it's haunted. Why, perhaps? Because it was shut down due to suspicious circumstances. There was a fire that broke out of it.
Okay, and?
Like, urban rumors spread, right? Is that what this is gonna be? Because I don't want to get on a tangent.
I was going to connect it back.
That
Can
probably
you
would have
not
taken a
interrupt
while.
people, man?
Dude,
No,
I don't want to take up too much time.
I was about to go ahead and connect it back.
Can you do it fast? Sorry.
It's Friday night.
Yeah.
Like, we can talk a little longer.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
I got nothing better to do.
Come on, go.
I mean, I would like to, the stream. I would like to do other things afterwards. So having a nice, concise discussion time is very nice for me personally. So
Come on, go.
Sorry, I literally have this all written down, and I was about to connect it back, and then everyone just started.
Go ahead.
Go.
Bottom line, if you actually go ahead and gather the right points with any kind of thing, you can create any sort of legend to convince anyone that they could actually be there with just a little bit of misdirection. You can create mysticism out of anything in the darkness so long as you actually have the points to make it happen.
Anything else?
The other thing was, it's interesting to see the butterfly pendant again. Glad that's actually a part of the story again.
Alright.
Alright, we good?
There more?
Yeah, that's all my thoughts.
That's pretty much it too.
Alright, cool. Gonna end it. Good night, everybody.
Alright.